We are live. Welcome back to the Fantom Podcast. It is Arnold week here at Ultimate Fitness. It's been a crazy week. Just got back from the expo and with the 1990 Arnold Classic champion, Sugar Shawn Ray. Sean, welcome to the Fantom Podcast.
I got to correct you. It's 1991. Well, officially 1990 with an asterisk.
Two-time Arnold Classic champion and obviously Hall of Fame bodybuilder. Sean, it's an honor to have you here today. But we've been meaning to get you on for a while and we were going to do it remotely, but obviously whilst you're here, we're going to
take advantage of that situation and get in a room together and
why not
shoot the shit.
Yeah, so we'll talk about last night's Arnold Classic results. We were there at Ohio 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And you were there last night. Joe was there prejudging and I was watching the pay-per-view because I'm a cheapskate. Let's talk about the results. Top six.
Yeah.
There was seven in the class.
Seven in the class, yeah. Seven in the light. We're just sticking with open, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So
Antoine.
Antoine came seventh. I think he looked better 2 weeks ago in Ohio, but came in full, came in his heaviest he's ever been on stage. Looked big, but some of the detail.
Yeah, I mean, remember, I didn't realize he's a tall body. Yeah, 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
A little flat, like thin from front to back. He doesn't have the girth. Yeah, he doesn't have the girth. But he does have the ability to pose. He caught my attention with his routine.
Yeah.
Physique still needs a little bit more thickness. I mean, he's got some very nice calves. When he hits certain poses, he looks good. For his height, he needs more triceps and biceps. But he can move pretty well. He's flexible.
Yeah, that's the first time I sort of took notice. I got to train Antoine today, and obviously coming back from post had some food last night, so he's filled out a little bit. Yeah, probably lost a bit of the detail, but he looked great in the gym today. Nice and full. Like you said, for a taller guy, he needs to add on probably another 10 pounds.
Yeah,
which takes time. And do you know about Antoine's history?
I heard he had some problems. Has overcome a lot of challenges. So I give him props.
3 years recovery. So so fair play to him. But I think it was a tough lineup. And do you think it was fair play, 7th place?
Yeah, no. If he picks the right show, he can probably do better. I mean, listen, this wasn't the best lineup, but there are shows out there that he's got the right proportions, right physique that he can actually do some damage in. I'd like to see him go out and compete in like the California show or maybe one of those shows like Texas is getting better. Texas Pro show is getting better, but I think the California show would be right up Antoine's alley.
Yeah, I think he's done the California show before, the muscle contest one.
Yeah.
I think he won that show.
So. Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's like...
They like that kind of physique out there too.
Yeah.
So.
That was 2 years ago, wasn't it?
2 years ago, yeah.
To get the invite, you have to win a show in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
6th place was
Moshe
Bang. Sean, one of your guys.
I missed him. Who was it?
Moshe Bang.
Oh, Mo. Yeah, no. Mo was what I got. I helped him pose a little bit.
He's forgotten already.
No, it's the English accent. I'm like, Mo Shaban.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. You know what? I thought he looked better. Like when I was helping him pose in California, he looked better. He looked like he flattened out and smoothed out a little bit. I still think he's trying to get the right combination, right? I think his wife helped him out. I think Charles Glass kind of helped him out, but I was trying to help him out with his posing. He's got a nice little package. And again, he's another one that maybe this stage is too big for him.
Yeah.
But he's a bona fide professional bodybuilder, right? And
is he based in California?
He lives out in Los Angeles, and I know he's in the process of trying to do a gym in Egypt.
Okay.
But yeah, he's got to get the right formula down. I'm not a dietitian, but he's got a very nice package.
Got no missing weak points, has he? So
it's very balanced.
Yeah. But he hasn't got the wow. He's that balance. There's no wow factor, so he doesn't really stand out.
Yeah, his legs are a little overpowered. It's kind of a smaller Rami, so to speak, a little bit longer torso with the big quads.
The mini Rami. So that was 5th place, James Hollingshead.
Yeah. James came to James. I think he looked... I wasn't there last night. So you can comment on that.
Yeah, no.
Pre-judge, he looked good.
Don't hold back, Sean.
Pre-judge, he was good. He was super tight from the back.
Yeah, and he started his routine from the back.
Yeah.
He knows he's strong from the back.
Yeah.
It's the midsection that he loses it, right? The detail's not there. I'm sure he's no stranger to that criticism. If he gets that midsection proper, everything else will kind of flow a little bit.
What do you think he has to do to get it tighter? I mean, for you.
Well, I think it has a lot to do with the off season, right? You let your weight get away from you. It's hard to just bring it down and suck it all up. I think he's got to stay closer to his competition weight.
So I know last year, he got his biggest ever off season. I was sitting in guest pose in Sweden and he looked like huge, humongous.
But what happens when you get that big girth? It's right here. It's in the midsection. And these contests are won and lost when you look at the midsection. It's the focal point of everything. So if I'm James, I probably just don't try to get so big in the off season. And these guys are wearing waist trainers now and all that stuff. He needs to do his ab work, but he needs to stay high up on his cardio.
I think he was training abs more often.
Yeah, very frequently. The guy who's been videographing him, Liam, he's been there 2-3 times every week.
Shout out to Liam.
Yes, big LSJ.
Yeah.
And James has been nailing in his midsection, but he's had that criticism of detail in the midsection his whole career. So maybe it is one of those things, but as you say, keeping everything tighter, keeping everything in balance in the off season could be the missing link for them.
Yeah, not blowing up so much off season, and this is what it is.
Yeah, but overall, I think it's a very good package for James.
One of his best, I think.
One of them. Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't there last night, but I think he was good in Ohio. He got fifth.
Yeah,
probably his best showing for James anyway. But like I said, he was up against Haddy and Samson, so it's good to see where he's at. But structurally, he doesn't have the best structure. Muscle-wise, density is there. Right. Condition-wise, he's probably not quite nailed it. Condition-wise,
you need a little bit more detail in the back. His back is his strength, but still, especially the lower back.
Around the front, he probably needs more separation. But I know James is a hard worker, so I'm sure he'll get there. 4th place, John De La Rosa.
Yeah, I think that was fair. He's coming off of a few injuries. I know I think he just recently got married. I know he got injured. I know he took some time off. So yeah, I thought when I saw him 2 weeks ago in Ohio that wow, he's been a busy little bee. The knock on John is got that big butt. He's got that black person's butt, man. He's got these big ass glutes. I don't know if he's Puerto Rican or something going on back then, but he actually looks a lot bigger than he actually is standing next to Akeem, because Akeem's a big bodybuilder and John was holding his own with that guy. They seem to fight, tooth and nail and go back and forth, but he wears the weight pretty well.
What does he weigh?
240, I think.
240. He's only like 5'6", 5'7".
Yeah, Mike.
That's heavy. That is
balanced. Really, really balanced. I was super impressed.
You know what it is? It's his shoulder, especially from the back.
Yeah,
he gets a lot of width in his back, and he doesn't shrink away when he does a lat spread.
There's a lot of detail in his glutes.
Condition was there, which has always been the knock on John in the past. Yeah. So him and Patrick, those two,
they found that he needs more girth in the chest, and I don't know if it's going to ever come. But he was put together really well. Good comeback for him.
I've noticed nowadays, not many bodybuilders have really good developed chests.
Yeah. It's weird.
Why do you think that is?
It's kind of going around, right?
Back in your day, everyone had a full chest.
Yeah.
Nowadays, even Haddy's chest is quite flat.
Yeah, it's flat. And Derek Lunsford's is kind of flat.
So I've not seen anyone recently with apart from Andrew Jack when he posed in the pose review. Yeah, they were like two basketballs. Apart from that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who was third? Akeem.
Yeah.
Williams.
Yeah. And I think they traded places, right?
Yeah. So insider information, speaking to James after the pre-judging, they had John in 3rd and Akeem and James battling for 4th.
Yeah.
So whatever Akeem did overnight came back and really upset what was supposed to happen. But he looked good. He looked really, really good from the front, from the side. Side detail on the leg is freaky, crazy.
God, it looks like he's strong as an ox. Those legs are so full and so thick. And him and John have traded places back and forth. I don't think they're very similar bodybuilders. I just think one gets a little tighter than the other. I hate this 2-day format. Prejudging on Friday night, finals on Saturday night. I mean, you got 2 different shows. Yeah. These guys are mixing and matching formulas. You're losing by 1 point. I mean, there's a lot. It should be 1 day. Prejudging at 12, finals at 6.
Why did they do that? Is it to keep the fans in the auditorium so that no one...
Dude, there was no amateur show this year, though, right?
Yeah. No.
Whereas in the past, there'd been 2.
Everyone showed this.
You don't have to drag it out. They could have had all that other stuff on Friday night and had the Mint.
Yeah.
The Mint can carry the show on Saturday night. We'd be there. I mean, that place was packed.
Yeah.
And they were mostly there for the men's open bodybuilding. So why they split this prejudging stuff up is just beyond me. Did they do the classic all in one day?
Yes.
Friday?
Yeah, Friday morning and Friday.
And the bodybuilders have the hardest time. Yeah. That's why classic bodybuilders are starting to look better than open bodybuilders. And if the federation and promoters don't start recognizing that, we're going to lose our audience to the classic physique, because those guys look phenomenal. They're in great shape. And it's over in 1 day.
Well, Sean, you're on the Olympic committee, so maybe you can put that to dance on.
A lot of stuff I say fall on deaf ears because it makes too much sense, right? It's the honesty is too much there, but it's more dangerous, I think, for these open bodybuilders to try to. It's a 48-hour period. They say 24 hours. It's not, because we start on Friday morning, got to carry it through Friday night, then get up and do it all over again on Saturday, and it's a dangerous game for these bodybuilders.
Especially when they're dehydrating, they're taking all sorts.
This stuff needs to happen on 1 day. I cannot wait till the Olympia gets back and the Arnold gets back, where it's prejudging at 12 noon, finals at 5 p.m. Why wait until 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night?
Right, that'd be 2nd place. Samson. Was he better than Ohio?
He's got a better physique. He's got a better physique than Hadi. I thought he looked better under these lights than he did actually in Ohio. Again, he's still just got that thin layer of water, and I think Hadi exposes that because Hadi...
Is it water or is it fat?
It's probably a combination of the two. It's a combination of the two. I don't know why Samson even plays the size game. Samson can pull a Ronnie Coleman of 01 at the Arnold Classic, where Ronnie was his smallest and leanest. If he just shrinks down a little bit, he's going to catch up in the definition size, because no one's going to call Samson small.
No.
But he has to know, what do I got to do to beat this little guy? I've got to lean out. He definitely is not lacking in any muscle compartment at all. It's a thin layer of water.
It's just, they're like too concerned about the weight. I'm 300 pounds. I'll be 300 pounds on stage.
He doesn't have that. Who's he going to stand next to?
There is no
Andrew
one else
Jack
that big anyway, especially in this lineup.
Yeah, he didn't have to worry about his size. If I was him from 2 weeks ago, I would have done everything I could do just to suck it all up and just to see what would happen. I think if he's a few pounds lighter, he's going to be a different bodybuilder and he's going to be more competitive. He's going to have to do that in October if he plans on beating Derek and Honey.
The consensus that I get is some people were saying Samson could have edged it last night, but to me, from the prejudge, Hadi was way too far ahead. Samson had changed something overnight. He looked great yesterday compared to the prejudge. I think at the prejudge, he was flat.
Yeah.
He was really flat. And I know he's been sucking down and he got sick in between.
Yeah, but if we keep doing this, they're going to get sick.
Yeah, of course.
This is a dangerous game because if I'm in second place and you're telling me this Friday night, I'm going to be confused. Should I eat Friday night?
Yeah.
What do I drink Saturday morning? Should I drink at all?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you the dangerous game that Mohammed bin Aziza played in 92. He was 5th place. I was 4th, and I think it was Labrada 3rd. This was Rowan 2nd in 92. 2 weeks later, the knock on him was he needed to dry out. And he dried out so much that it cost him his life. And, you keep hearing, don't drink, don't eat. What these bodybuilders want to pool the water, and it's going to be a dangerous game. Samson is there. Like, he looked a lot better. Mm-hmm. But what did he have to go through to get better? We don't know, but it's scary.
His wife was prepped him for this week's show, didn't they?
Sure, yeah.
Well, this was the old with Milos. And
him and Milos are no longer working together, so...
Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
Didn't change the placing, did it?
No, but you know what? I think he needs to take control of his career.
Yeah.
Look, you're a grown man. You're at that point now where, look, yeah, his wife may know his body and all that, but at some point, Samson's going to have to own his work. And I come from the old school. Like, look, I didn't want any fingerprints on my stuff. I wanted training partners to kick my ass in the gym. A nice set of eyes is good to kind of look and see what he should know what he's doing at this stage. Like, you want someone else coming in there and I mean, figure that shit out. You're there now.
Especially this late to
a career.
Yeah. Also, like this close to coming to a show.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to screw things up the last week.
So much variation from what you know or what you have done in the past to this one, which realistically was redemption for him. Mm-hmm. I think the physique he displayed was much better, much tighter. But again, like you said,
I preferred him here. I prefer him here than Ohio.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, change is good. Getting rid of Milos is maybe not the worst thing that can happen to the guy because now he's got to own what he's doing. I wouldn't go in search of some guru out there. Yeah. He needs to just do what he's doing and lighten it up just a little bit. Maybe do a little bit more, refine it, because he's at that stage now where more muscle is going to cost him. He's got to play the game these smaller bodybuilders are playing.
And also probably like you said earlier, stay within like 10, 15 pounds of stage weight and then blow. I mean, he doesn't really blow, does he, Samson?
I think he got to 330, 320. And if he's competing at 295, that's 35 pound difference.
Still a lot. Yeah, well, what's 280 going to look like? You know what I mean? It's still, you're Ronnie Coleman-ish at 280?
Yep.
Come on. I mean, if I'm him, I'm thinking refinement. I'm thinking shredded, right? So I would be trying to go into September, or I should say October, as lean as I can possibly get and see what happens.
Well, that takes us to the winner, Hadi Chopin. It's a big job.
He's doing everything right.
Yeah.
Clearly he's on the right path because Samson is his biggest threat. Now that he's beaten Samson twice, he's got to think about Derek, but Derek didn't show this kind of hardness that Hadi's been showing. He's got the immature muscle. He's not there with this quality detail.
Hadi seems hungry as well. When you saw the videos of him training, he was squatting like 600 pounds, drops it in 10 days out. Yeah. Like T-bar and 10 plates. So
you got to be careful with those quads though, because they're getting to the point where he's going to start looking a little bit boxing.
Yeah. But do you think who's better in Ohio? Or do you think who's better last night in Birmingham?
I like these lights here last night better than Ohio. And mind you, Ohio, you kind of have all this stuff going on around you. I wish they'd just go back to the black curtain. Yeah. You know what I mean? So put the black curtain, put on the bright lights, and let's see the physique.
Yeah, that way there's no distractions. It's just...
Yeah.
No. I thought looking for the photos. The prejudging, he looked slightly off for Hadi. Obviously stressed from
his visa. He was flat.
But Saturday pulled it through.
Yeah.
So not far better.
And I missed the prejudging, but Hadi's on the right direction. Sometimes losing is the best thing that can happen, right?
Yeah.
Hadi's pissed. He's fired up. And you know what? He can make $1 million in one calendar year. So he won 300 at the Arnold, right? 75 at the Arnold last night. 200, I think, at the Olympia. So he wins the Olympia coming up with another 400,000.
That's $1 million, yeah.
It would be a record year for him.
It's quite funny as well. Believe it or not, he had the home crowd advantage, so it seemed. I don't know what it was like last night.
Yeah.
The prejudge, the whole of the audience, all the Iranian fans, Hadi.
No, but all the English fans too. I know that Samson had his contingency, but if you go on Instagram and you see the end of the show, Hadi stuck around and was shaking the hands of the people, and you would have thought he was the next king of England.
He's got a big Persian fan base in UK, especially in this gym. We have a lot of Persian members, and they love Hadi. He's like a god to him.
Yeah, well, it looked like he won over the entire crowd. I mean, nobody booed. No one booed.
No.